A few weeks ago, I went to Yellowstone National Park, and it was arguably one of the best trips of my life. And I'd like to share that experience with you all who are watching. So sit back, relax, and hopefully you enjoy the trip as much as I did. We arrived in Bozeman, Montana, which is situated north of Wyoming and therefore north of one of the park entrances. We stayed at a gorgeous Airbnb which was roomy enough for 8 of us, and from the moment we arrived, I was captivated by Montana's big sky and its beautiful landscapes. In fact, I almost burned through a whole roll, my only roll of Portrait 400, before we even got into the park, and these are some of the photos I was very happy with. Day 1. Once we settled in, I immediately wanted to make the time worth it, so I convinced my brother-in-law and a good friend to accompany me to the Yellowstone River. We let our imaginations lead our machinations and found simple acts of throwing rocks become engaging and stimulating.
I got a flat rock.
Let's see.
No.
It was calm, it was quiet, and you actually had time to relax, it seemed like. Simply put, it was magic. I wanted this trip to be something so that everyone who came along could find or discover some beautiful reason for existing. To build a community. Day 2 started with our drive into the park. We drove through the northern entrance of Yellowstone and arrived at our first destination, the Mammoth Hot Springs. I want to see a herd of bison running.
That would be incredible.
5-minute walk, yeah, right.
I was quite surprised at how large it was. From a distance, it simply looked like a hill covered in bird droppings, but as you begin to approach, you start to realize how big the calcified layer of rock is. After stretching our legs and making our way back to the cars, we continued southward, delving deeper into the park until we stopped at a grassy meadow and the Obsidian Cliffs. An entire cliffside of obsidian black glass that towered the side of the road that you would otherwise miss if you weren't looking for it. The breathtaking meadow was an excellent spot to eat our packed lunches and take some more photos. This is where I really started to get into a groove with my photography. The one thing I loved about Yellowstone was just how easily accessible all the best places are from the main road. There are plenty of pullouts where you can park and enjoy the views. You didn't have to hike miles and miles to get to a geyser or a nice meadow or a nice overlook of some lakes. Everything was primarily right off the side of the road, which I very much appreciated. Once we decided to get a move on, we made our way to the Norse Geyser Basin, which is a flat piece of land housed by a few dozen different geysers, some small and some large, but beauty in all of them. Doing amazing.
Oh, that's a shot.
Say that again?
Which film are you using?
At this point, I wanted to give a special shout out to someone who actually commented on my photography because they saw that I had a film camera. Right after this shot was taken, a very nice individual actually asked what kind of film I was shooting with. I forgot exactly what my answer was. It was either Portrait 400, some black and white film that I was shooting, which is the Kodak T-Max that I was shooting. That question actually led to further conversation, and I ended up finding out that the man that asked me these questions actually owns a photo lab out in New York. Now, I wanted to give a special shout out to Luster Photo in New York. I will link their Instagram down below in the description. So if you guys want to check them out, if you're ever in New York, I certainly will when I go to New York, hopefully soon, and help a small business out. Why not? But aside from that, they were very friendly. They were very nice. He gave me some great recommendations to shooting Yellowstone, which was with Ektar 100, which luckily enough, I did have with me. So stay tuned for those photos in the next video. I would highly recommend checking out this spot because all the photos that I took, I absolutely loved. After that mix-up, we decided that we were going to head to our last destination for the day, which was the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone and its tremendous 308-foot waterfall. And as you can probably hear, I was blown away by its sheer size and beauty. Damn. Wow. That's really deep. That's what she said. I wanted to get different views for the waterfall, so we headed further down the road and eventually found this spot not too far from the parking lot. Again, everything in Yellowstone is very accessible. At this spot, you can actually get probably one of the best views of the waterfall. I think one of the craziest parts about this waterfall was the fact that you could hear it from so far away. Just thinking about how many millions of gallons of water move through this canyon every day is quite shocking. From this point on, we were planning on finishing the day by driving to the Lamar Valley, completing the top loop of the park, but we decided to call an audible and head back home since it was getting very cloudy pretty quickly. That ended up becoming a good call because we got caught in a bit of a flash of rain, but what came next was truly unexpected. A solitary bison in his majestic glory grazing only a few yards from the road stole the attention of us all. It was the first spot of true wildlife we had seen since arriving, and to see something like this up so close and personal was more than a dream come true. It felt like we were in a groundbreaking popular 90s movie. And that concluded the first 2 days of our trip through Montana and Yellowstone National Park. Now there's much more to come in the next video, so please stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did making this. Take care.